Good morning. Welcome to the E3 Weekly Market Report. It is the 28th of July. Exports have just come out. We're going to go straight to those right now. We've got the cotton sales showing 44,600. That's the marketing year low. That's down 38% from the previous week and down 54% from the 4-week average. Vietnam took 28,800. Let's see. We've got China took 13,100. Indonesia took 7,900. And we've got new crop sales, a very good sale figure of 190,100. China took 50,100. Indonesia took 41,000. And Pakistan took 32,900. So, before the number came out, cotton had been down 86 going into this. Right now, cotton is down 73, so it's firming up some. Let's next go to soybeans. Sales, it was actually a negative number, a negative 1,400 metric tons for old crop, down noticeably from the previous week and from the 4-week average. China took 226,300. The Netherlands took 77,000. Vietnam took 70,600. Okay, I'm looking for the cancellation. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Let's go next to new crop. And this could have been rolled forward actually. 678,200. Unknown destinations took 564,000. China took 60,000. Mexico took 21,800. So bad old crop as we're seeing that being rolled forward to new crop. Soybeans were, before the number came out, up 4 1/4. Right now, soybeans are selling off. They're actually down 3, so not taking that number very well. Corn, net sales of 438,800 for old crop. That's up 29% from the previous week, but down 5% from the 4-week average. Japan took 96,200. South Korea took 75,900. Mexico took 73,300. Looking new crop, net sales of 476,500. Unknown destinations were number one at 181,800. Peru took 140,000, and Mexico took 67,900. What has corn done? Corn was up a half-cent before the report. Now corn is down a half-cent as after this has come out. Wheat, net sales of 506,100 metric tons. That's up 6% from the previous week, but down 11% from the 4-week average. Japan took 158,200. Mexico took 76,000. South Korea took 48,800. And wheat before the report was up 4 1/4. Right now, wheat is up 3 3/4. Quickly looking back, we've got cotton down 68 to 70, so it's continuing to firm up. Soybeans are up a half to unchanged to up a half. So that is 4 cents under, 4.5 cents under where it was before the report, but it did get hit harder. Corn down a quarter from being up a quarter, and wheat pretty close to where it was. Interesting activity overnight in cotton, a very wild swinging market during the evening hours when typically markets are quiet. We had almost a 250-point range in cotton overnight. We saw a high of 74.11, and that's very close to where we opened last night at 8 o'clock. Then somewhere between 9:30 or 10 o'clock, we started selling off. We sold off to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we got as low as 71.65. And since then, we've rallied back 120 points. So we were almost down 190 or so at one point after we had rallied. I do not know what's going on with that. That is mysterious to me why the market would act like that. We've been in a range of 71.50 up to 75 for a couple of weeks. This market just seems to be bound to hold within that range until something else comes along to push it above 75 or back below the 7150. But I would think, and I'll get into this in just a second, 70 to 75 seems to be where we're comfortable until something comes along to change that, and the something seems to be pointing toward making possibly new highs as speculators could come in and buy cotton again. All right, let's just back up here and go to, we'll go over our Monday crop progress report. Cotton had slipped on the number that came out Monday for last week. It was 52% good to excellent. The previous week it had been 54%, and the news we get is in West Texas it's still dry. We're starting to see some problems in dryland cotton out there, and a market is looking at that, and there's been quite a bit of talk about that. The crop is 85% squared versus an average this time of the year normally of 84%, setting bowls at 46%. The average this time of the year is normally 43%. Soybeans, good to excellent category that came out was unchanged at 71%, and everything else is on schedule or ahead of schedule in terms of blooming and setting pods. Corn, good to excellent, unchanged at 76%. The silking's ahead of schedule. The dough stage is just beginning, and it's normal. Winter wheat harvest is almost over. It's probably at this point, it was 83% on Monday, but it's further along than that now. Spring wheat, good to excellent, 68%. That slipped just a little bit there. Let's talk about what's happened lately in markets. As I mentioned, certainly cotton's been crazy. And but for the last couple of weeks, we've been trading in that sideways range. We just happened to visit most of that range overnight in that 250-point range. The high we've seen back July the 15th was 75. The low we saw was 71.54 overnight. We got to 71.65 and then bounced off of it. What's been the news? Well, it's been dry West Texas weather. It's been very good speculative support. Speculators are long, and they seem to be very determined to stay long to support the market. And if we make new highs above 75, to have a new wave of buying come into the market, a new wave of buying to move it higher. And, of course, the tight supplies that we've seen for some time. Expectations, as I said, 70 to 75 mostly, and it could stay there for a while until we see something cause the market to break either direction. November soybeans. The recent range, back July the 14th, we saw a high of 11.23, and 2 days ago we saw a low of 9.63. That's a full range of $1.60, mostly down during that period. Right now, November soybeans are at 9.82 and a quarter, down 3 3/4. The expectation for there is we think this market from here at these levels could bounce back toward 10.20 to 10.40. I'm going to say right now this will affect corn and soybeans. This is approaching the time of the year when we have a seasonal low and we see a bounce that could last 3 weeks to a month. That's the normal. Toward the end of July, the beginning of August, we typically have our first low. Then we'll rally for a few weeks. Then we'll roll over again and head toward the final low, which would be sometime around the first part of October. Now, that's the normal. I don't know if this is going to follow that normal path, but that's what it normally does seasonally. So we are approaching a time when this market would normally bounce. Let's go on to corn. Recent high for corn is 3.80 on July the 14th. The low is 3.33 and a quarter on July the 22nd. That's 46 3/4 cent range. Right now, the December corn is trading at 3.42 3/4. The news has been the same news as it would affect beans. Improving weather and also technical selling have been the major considerations there. Expect the corn to get as high as 3.60 and maybe as low as 3.30. September wheat, we saw a high on July the 13th of 4.51 3/4 and a low 7 days later at 4.06 1/4. That's a 45 1/4 cent range. This market's moving in sympathy with beans and corn. Plus, we've got ample supplies of wheat, and we've got the wheat that is spring wheat right now is in excellent shape. So all those things together have not bode well for the wheat market. Expecting a possible, well, right now September wheat's at 4.18. It's up 3 1/4. expect a bounce that could take us back toward 440, but the market could also drop as far as $4 to 410. So that's sort of the outlook and what's going on. Looking one last time at the markets, cotton has come under pressure again, down 96 at 72.59. The November soybeans are down 3 1/4 at 982 3/4 in November. December corn down a half at 342 3/4. September wheat up 3 at 417 3/4. That's it. Thanks for being with us on this edition of the E3 Weekly Market Report, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.